I go by the name Livingston Eche Satekla, real life, and Stonebwoy as artist. Welcome to Stonebwoy Meets the Press. Yeah. I think that over the time there have been issues. Issues are not necessarily negative or positive. There have been a lot of me in the news, and I believe that 2019 especially was one of the biggest years that I've had under my sleeve, and it's been busy all through, and I had really little time to address or go for interviews, you know, from one place to the other, and therefore this is one of the reasons why 2020 has come to us. My team and I decided to call on the press so that we can have a nice time, a beautiful time, actually dialoguing and asking questions, and me also telling you what my plans are for the rest of 2020. So thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. So we're going to jump straight to awards scheme in Ghana. How do you feel looking at the fact that there's a possibility you may not be part of it?
Part of
the VGMAs.
Oh, VGMA.
You as an artist, how do you feel about it?
VGMAs. We give thanks, you know, and then you see, we're learning, you know, we're learning, we're growing, and we're thanking God that we've moved a long time from being boys to men, and so we're faced with real life circumstances, you know. These are not supposed to be problems at all. If you're open-minded, you know that it all plays to be a part. Music itself in Ghana is older than VGMAs. So I think for respect has to be accorded, respect would have to be accorded. Most prior respect would go to music and therefore musicians before even anybody who seeks to look at the works of these musicians and give them a plaque or two. You feel me? Having a good intention to, you know, add value to the artist's career. You know what I mean? This, I suppose, is the intention of every awards scheme. But honestly speaking, I as a creative do not think that the power lies in awards schemes in making the music or a musician. You know, absolutely, it may not, because award schemes and VGMAs come in once a year and go. But the artists have to do a million things a year to be able to retain a position where an award can recognize to even work with them. You know what I mean? So on the general fall, that is what I have to say. Looking at my mentioning my exit from VGMA actually made me smile. You know, I'm smiling about it. I think I understand it to a height where I, as a particular artist, I wouldn't cry over a thing like this, because what it is that I know beyond just my involvement. So I believe that a cross section of my fans, some will feel like, but from where I stand, I think it's time for me to start explaining to some of these fans to understand the actual process that it is. You know what I mean? So VGMAs, I'm not at all that I'm not a part of. The last time I spoke on radio, answering to that via Uncle George, I was answering to Uncle Razoma that I think I second him, because the decision has long been taken for the extension or the maintenance of the ban period. I would even wish that it's extended the more, so that it can actually deter the upcoming ones from misbehaving as they have planned it. Because I think that it's good for the up and coming ones to be afraid to know that if you mess about, you can miss a prestigious awards like this for years. You see? After the ban is lifted, there's trouble. There's trouble between when the ban is lifted and when we accept. I'm not gonna say just I, because I know my other brother and I. This always he charge for that vibe, you know. So just as usual, I'm always his spokesperson. You guys saw it there. I'm a spokesperson when it comes to press. Aside that, he can actually speak for himself. I sometimes have to call him to help me speak on my behalf. So some of the videos you see, I inspired the video somehow because he knows he's kicking it for all of us as bridging. As for the VGMA, when the ban is lifted, I think that both teams, mine and his, would want to have a, they say, caucus meeting. Yes, we'll caucus it before we see. Oh, Mr. George, sorry. Because I respect that. I respect that VGMA as a prestigious award doesn't take decisions, by a person. Although it has a CEO and whatever, anything the CEO says is actually a combination of all the things that she had to minus, sleep over, and accept to face to come and say. So when the ban is lifted, we will all both treat each other nicely and sit behind doors and see the way forward and how it's going to affect the Ghanaian masses and the music industry better. Not how it's going to affect VGMA better, financially, whatever, and neither us, but for everybody, because their interests are at stake. So there have to be a consensus at certain levels for if the ban is lifted or not. But I think 2-3 more years is okay for the punishment for the in future of the mess up of the up and coming ones. Yes. And first of all, I take you from the manager bit, is it? And as at now, I think I haven't announced any manager yet. And I believe that Ghanaians are used to the word manager. And therefore, it goes that way. Most people get very familiar with our managers even than ourselves, and 1,001 businesses do go past us and we don't even know. So it gets to a point where, like in Ghana, as far as I'm concerned, the manager, that person as a manager tends to have like a very huge responsibility and whatever. When there's success, it goes straight to manager. When there's failure, it goes straight to artists in the face. It's just like, that vibe. But no success has much been accorded to artists, but to teams and manager and all of that. So I respect the role of manager. You see what I'm saying? But Blakk Cedi is no more, aka Cedi Mohammed, is no more my manager. As we duly said, due to structural, fixations in my camp, I know a lot of people have said so many things that they've heard and some haven't heard, some moving with speculation, some moving with what they want to move with. It's all good, it's life, trust me honestly, life goes on and that's how life goes, We need to get some shocks to be able to change them. We need to get some shocks to be able to move and put things right. And has he done any work as an agent? No, he hasn't. And the reality is that there were understandings or conversations prior to my announcement, and that was verbally agreed upon until it wasn't formally signed. So Blakk Cedi Mohammed hasn't done any work agent-wise and is definitely not in any capacity, obliged to. Whereas I have to state clear that we don't have any work ties together anymore, like work ties, whether by booking, whether by agency, whatever. There's no work tie between my good brother and I, A cousin of mine from my mom's side, if you want to know, extensively, because and he's been my brother. He's played so much. So he's been here. He's been with me from day. And so it's I think that people are seeing him now in the fore more, and some are calling him manager, and some are actually pushing the manager title on his head. I think that only stays in the Ghanaian region. What I know now, if I didn't even know before, is that every artist needs a team. And you have management and might not necessarily have a manager, because you either have a business manager, a personal manager, a road manager. So the word manager may not be able to sit well on the head of just a person. But here in Ghana, you call the manager when you want interviews. You call that same person when you want businesses. You call that same person when, all issues have to go through that same person. So it makes it like it's one man thing. It's not a one man thing. As an artist and as one that seeks to grow, there's a team.
And musically, yes. And you think it was necessary?
It's true.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was starting from where you ended, so I understand these issues. I'm here with the people. I'm active on social media. I read the news. I know what's going on. He's not telling one lie. Everything he's saying he's not actually, he might be representing himself, but he's not actually talking just for himself. He's talking for other people. I got that yesterday from somewhere. Like, yo, whoever sings you guys, the heat, you know, they come again. I enjoy the heat sometimes anyway, you know. So it actually has been, there was no force. I think there was no force to start with, under which we had to succumb to unite, you know, or to show unity. You know what I mean? Shatta and I we have history for real from time. I think one that only close people who are privileged get to know about. But in the media light, over a number of years, our feud is real. I think people sometimes say, yo, but why Shatta now? And I'm like, to me, Shatta say, baby, this is real. Who knows? People know the extent to which it went. And I think that what happened at the VGMAs to climax the heights of it actually took us to the world. It sent us all across. We even got featured in Arabic news writings, in Russian, and TMZs. Yo, and I immediately my picture was used for scary movie titles with gun things are going, you know. I think we came out to do the right thing. The right thing most often doesn't make people happy, you know. And I tell you sometimes both of us are even sad that we did that right thing. Because sometimes there are some things he can come and say at me that he wouldn't say now, and even me, some things I can come and say at him that I wouldn't say now. But we are two different people still, and I think that Ghana now has gotten to a level where we have, by at least even the last deed that happened, gotten a name to certain levels. Now, what are we going to do now that we have the attention? What are we going to continue to do now? Are we going to sell Ghana the right way, capitalize on the attention drawn now to move 100 steps ahead into that time, and also equal our rivals or equal people who have long gone past us? Because the beef was actually beneficiary to some people, but ultimately it wasn't any good look for us. It wasn't bringing anything to the ultimately, like, overall. In the end, we would still lose. So we would rather probably lose certain things now and still move forward. The biggest beef, dancehall beef, once upon a time, is the Bounty Killer and Beanie one, you know. And today, you and I know the levels at which they are. They vibe, but it will never be as if they were best friends. You see what I mean? So me and Shatta, as much as you guys see it, we're honestly speaking, we're good bridging now, but we're not best friends. You know, we can't just get up and assume that we've been super cool over. And men are very real when it comes to these things. But him and I will pick a conversation once, mostly pertaining to the industry and what we're supposed to do together in our differences, because this is the time for us to make some difference. You know, you guys are used to the beef, get used to the chicken, and we'll, you know, small time, you know, you guys know how to incite us. Just touch the right buttons. To drop some songs that, you know, fed the crave of the fans and the masses, and it was a huge one. Shatta and I definitely must, else I do not think that our mission would have been accomplished, you know. But most often wishes are not horses, and you cannot always get what you want at the time that you want them, because these are two individual teams. We are not a group working together. We are individuals though, so timings have to come to play. Especially, let's not make this sound like it's not business, you know, business backgrounds. So many things have to go on to make sure that whatever we're doing, we can drive for a longer period. Why I would even involve the business part is not because anybody says business means that all they're about is the money. No. What do? We're musicians, commercial musicians. We don't sing for free. Sometimes we might give you a line or two for free, but we have to consider all aspects, you know, to be able to take certain decisions when it comes to recording musical material together, because that then goes on to the royalties and the other things and interest protections and all of that. So it's my wish that all these things will come to book nicely done, and we'll be able to give Ghanaians and the world a beautiful piece of track, an album, a video, however they want it. Style, baby. On the situation with OV, it was also absolutely one of the efforts to help. You know, if you're around me, you're close to me, you know my intent and my heart too. But unfortunately, I'm not the same one that oversaw, you know, things until my attention was properly drawn to. And that is the reason why I have to lay off and restructure ultimately and put things apart. So guess what? I think when I did the first interview and made mention of it, I said when we fix things internally, we would come out to speak about that as well. But I thought at that point it was not really necessary, and so now that I have the opportunity and you guys are here, I think I'll drop it in the interest of it's in the best interest, you know, that the company actually sever ties with her and release her literally. So she's long been released and is on her own and stuff, and still gets the support from the team and myself anytime, any day, just like it was from the beginning. The way I met Ovi sent me a tweet a long time ago, like one of the ways I do. Saw the tweet and I retweeted it, and on and on and on it went. Big ups to the fan base, Beam Nation, Beam Government. You guys are super amazing. Anything I touch, they endorse. So within a twinkle of an eye, Ovi was, you know, already getting the support of, she's not the first person that would get that opportunity, and she wouldn't be the last either, you know, thanks to the Beam Nation fan base. So she got into the MTN project fame, MTN whatever, and you guys saw how well she did by literally getting the support of my fan base and performing some of my songs. And I had my support behind her, so luckily enough she emerged the winner. And I have a very, very good friend, businesswoman of a friend of mine who's a woman, who actually brought her to my house and said, look, you're forcefully going to do this if you like it or not. Right in front of the girl when I haven't met her in person, I'm like, listen, there's a Wale. But, you know what I mean? Because from all that time, I was still working on the internal things that were happening so that it doesn't come to add up. And she's my witness, but I wished and hoped that will also run smooth. But, you know, you can't put pain on pain or trouble on trouble, so we try to an extent. But I believe that even having failed at, you know, that in quote, the levels that it has brought these kids, you know, is well enough for them to stand upon, because many people just run off, they take off by a tweet, by an opportunity. So how much more taking you along with us, opening doors that some people on their own haven't even opened yet. You know, the least you can do is not to try to fight this, because that's how you lose it all. So you just have to maintain upon the little help that you got and keep running. So Ovi is no more with us, it's not with us, you know. What I want to do is that once upon a time, we helped somebody, and it feels good if you're somebody that loves to help. But I think it's not what a number of us have tried, and I say failed, you know, because of so many reasons and more. Now it's time that we have to not rush, and this will be an advice to anybody who seeks to who feels that they are on top of the ladder and might want to help somebody or grow somebody or sign another artist. I think that is best we take time to even fix things, you know, in our teams and fix structures that would help that to work. And I would say that I admire, I admire Links Entertainment to an extent, because they seem to always have, that record of working with artists and, and doing it right to an extent. But may I cheat this in, even them don't have it easy, and there's always an issue about exit and the rest, you know what I mean? So I would blame it on Ghanaians not actually understanding, Ghanaian artists like myself not actually fixing things before they bring people on musically. But personally, there's always attitudes, and I think people feel different ways and all. But the happiness it brings to me is that in Ghana, one thing we do is we observe everything, we know everything, but we keep quiet and stare like we do not. Pertaining to the issues surrounding mine, I don't want to go too far and be too diplomatic about it, but we all see clear, we all see things. I get tweets that tend to ridicule me and insult me. I get, I've gotten messages that I haven't even displayed or shown to nobody, and by the time you check the thing, it's like, if I give that attention now, I'm just going to drop down to a certain level where I think Ghanaians will not be happy about, just because, you have to somewhat want to say it, or no, we are bigger than a lot of things and we have to see ourselves very big and move on. But let us not also stay blind to the clear picture, and do the needful. Yeah, you know what I mean? And this particular person is somebody who is being produced, managed, whatever, by my former manager. Let's keep some things on a clean. You get songs that Manifest, my brother, feature, and then it's throwing shades and all. I mean, I am the captain of one of the biggest beefs in this country, so these ones are not close. Describe it more than hate that type of situation, how it looks like. But my hate is actually coming from, I think, our part. Exactly, because we can only solve and fix ourselves to be able to be happier compared to any other receiving end. So I'll take it from the Nigerian part. I don't have a problem with. I honestly cannot blame anybody out there in Nigeria for whatever they do to us, like how it's being seen and it's being speculated. Because one, you can't force anybody to, accept what they do not know or whatever. But to be very, very, very honest, the last 2-3 months I've seen me going into Nigeria to do some shows back to back, like Sound City MVP, which is one of the biggest. I was among the top 2-3 to close the show. Afrima as well, top 3 to close the show, hosted in Nigeria. On the continent of Africa, I think I should be honest to say that I'm one of the known Ghanaians on the continent of Africa and beyond. And Nigeria loves me. So I will never actually paint them black in this situation, because I'll take time to dial it down so we all get the picture clearly. When I step at Nigeria, Motala, from one, you hear Stonebwoy, that's from immigration to wherever I go. But I think that is not it all. On stage as I've played, if I think that they rubbished me as one of the boys on the continent, I would be like a stage opener. The treatment and hospitality would be rough. But honestly speaking, I'm one of the persons who don't like to hide things that have to be told to fix a problem, if the problem hasn't been fixed yet already. Nigeria gives me my respect. Whatever it be on my technical rider or my performance rider, it's obeyed, and I go in and do that as a performer. Whatever business that there be, it was also done. But when it comes to the fan-based bit, I think that their industry has a certain regulation that doesn't allow inflow like that. So on one-on-one basis, you may be previewed or privileged or open to enjoying other people's music from across Africa and the world. But everybody literally gets the same treatment. I've seen other top artists from outside of Africa get the same treatment. And one of the things I can say now, not having critically thought about, is that I think there's a lot more to do in penetrating somebody else's territory. But they also have every right, there'll be legal right to protect their airspace. So if we are not protecting ours and promoting ours and pushing, sending ours across, it's a competitive world though, boss, on every level. Both business, China is going here, America is doing that, Iran and all those ones. It's the same way I think in entertainment. So we also have to push out to go. But I think that we've left our guard too open, and that is what is causing the pain. That you don't get the same love is not reciprocated, but it doesn't mean that they don't know you. They know you, and that's the level to the most they can actually receive you. And if this is us being received at that level, then you can imagine somebody who has to now struggle through. But I'm not saying that we have to cease. Any Nigerian can get up any day and have something done in Ghana easily. True or false? Even an event they can have a VGMA, their owners. So you see now, sometimes we just have to maybe join them. From noticing this and having been a part of the change as well, there is a need for me to continue to raise the bar and define myself more and more musically. So this album was meant to be a 12-track album, but pushed to 15 track so that I can actually serve the purpose of it and not just because it's music. One thing I can say about the album is that it's tailored to suit every region, literally, of the world. We have reggae songs that will target probably Jamaica and the Caribbean. We have dancehall songs that will target within the UK and the Jamaica as well, and even into the urban African society, because most of the music that we enjoy lately is a combination of dancehall and Afrobeats, literally, which is what I represent. And we have collaborations that would wow you. And I actually have pushed the bar such that I think I want to express my creativity, on this album properly. People will find me singing my dialect in a way they have never probably thought that I could understand. Both the tree, the airway, everything. Which brings me to the fact that this album actually was cooked with the aim of bringing people, uniting the sounds that we've already had. And you guys will find it sometimes, I find it difficult detailing stuff, I only see images and that's it. Let's go on to the next one.
All right, I'm sure you guys will have all the questions you want. For those of you